Now hear me. It is impossible, and I have not seen this. Even if it is an old gown, I have seen some brides, have their wedding in their mother's gown. I have seen in Africa, at times we ditch the white gown and we do the vitenges, our African fabrics. But all in all, every bride must have a gown. Every bride must have a gown, must have a garment. Whether it is in the Christian circles, Muslim circles, Hindu circles, you see all across, the tribal differences and our nations, but the bride must have a garment. Now, as the bride of Christ, we must have a garment. We must have a garment. Now, John tells us that the garment that the bride is adorned in verse number 8 of chapter number 19, is fine linen, it is bright, and it is clean. It is fine linen. Now, fine linen here, studying for the righteous acts of the saints. Bright and clean, studying for how cleansed it has been in the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ. So bright and clean, touching on our spiritual purity, our spiritual, that we don't have blame, we don't have spot. Now, Ephesians chapter number 5. Ephesians chapter number 5, Paul will tell us this. Paul will tell us verse number 27. Paul will tell us that after he's talked about husbands and wives, then he says that just as Christ loved the church, from verse number 25b, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. This is the bride that Jesus is coming for. Allow me to say this so quickly. When God intended to have Jesus born, he was not born to a single mother. He was not born to a woman that had already gotten married and given birth to children. Why? He wanted Jesus born by a virgin because he wanted to demonstrate that the people that will become the church, they must be virgins in their deeds. They must be virgins in their character. They must be virgins in their habits. They must be virgins in their in their convictions. They must be virgins in everything, even in their acts. So the Bible tells us that Mary was a virgin when she conceived Christ. Before she conceived Christ, she was a virgin. So this tells me that God is so interested in our purity. He is so interested in our being without spot, without having blemish, and without having any dart in us and on us. So every bride needs a garment that is clean. And Jesus has given himself and loved his bride, gave himself up for his bride to make her holy and cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, holy and blameless. That is the kind of a bride, a virgin bride, that Jesus is coming for. Please understand, in as much as physical virginity is of worth and value, it is not the preoccupation of, when I talk about, he's coming for a virgin bride, I'm not really looking at the physical aspect of it, and I have said even the physical aspect of it is of great worth, is of great value. Now, he's coming for a virgin bride. This means a bride that has not mixed herself with the world, and a bride that has not bowed her knee to the devil, and a bride that has not given her tongue to idols. A bride that has not worshipped idols, a bride that has not bowed before the enemy, a bride that has kept her wedding gown very clean, very bright, and a bride that has been mindful of the status of her wedding gown.